This is how the NBA's most unathletic star became a worldwide legend.
He's amazing. One of my favorite players ever.
In a league where explosive dunks and lightning-fast moves reign supreme, it's easy to overlook the player who doesn't fit that mold. But every so often, a player comes along who defies the norms. Someone who doesn't need to be the fastest, the strongest, or the most athletic to dominate the game. Dirk Nowitzki was one such player. His journey from an awkward, lanky teenager in Germany to one of the most respected and accomplished players in NBA history is a testament to the power of hard work, skill, and perseverance.
And now, a 14-time NBA All-Star selected to 12 All-NBA teams, a league MVP and an NBA champion. A 7-foot forward from Germany, number 41, Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk's story isn't just about basketball. It's about overcoming obstacles, defying expectations, and proving that greatness comes in many forms. To truly understand how Dirk Nowitzki became a legend, we have to start from the very beginning. Dirk Nowitzki was born on June 19, 1978, in the small town of Würzburg, Germany, a place better known for its rich history than its basketball tradition. Growing up, Dirk was surrounded by sports. His mother, Helga, was a former professional basketball player, and his father, Jörg Werner, was a handball player. But despite this athletic pedigree, Dirk's journey to basketball greatness was anything but straightforward. As a teenager, Dirk was a far cry from the typical athletic prodigy. He was tall, very tall, but also gangly and awkward, lacking the coordination and explosiveness that many of his peers possessed. In a country where soccer reigned supreme, Dirk initially gravitated towards tennis and handball, but his height soon made him a natural fit for basketball. Even so, his early years on the court were marked by a struggle to keep up with more athletic players.
The whole girl came over right away. He showed me how. You gotta have the work ethic and you gotta put in the time to make it in this league. So he was kind of like everything to me. He was my agent, my coach, my friend. He just took care of me.
Dirk's journey took a pivotal turn when he met Holger Geschwindener, a former German national team player who would become Dirk's mentor and coach. Holger saw beyond Dirk's physical limitations. He recognized that Dirk's true potential lay in his ability to shoot the ball and outthink his opponents. Under Holger's unconventional training methods, Dirk began to develop the skills that would define his career. Holger emphasized creativity and precision, encouraging Dirk to embrace his unique talents rather than try to mimic the athleticism of others. Together, they worked tirelessly on what would become Dirk's signature move, the one-legged fadeaway. This shot, which would later prove unstoppable against the world's best defenders, was born out of necessity and innovation.
How did you get your signature move?
I think I started shooting that later. In your 20s, you have the power. If something's crowded, you try to rip through and get the basket, get fouled a lot. And just as I gotten older, I lost a step and I didn't want to do all the grinding, get fouled. So I looked for a shot that I can do without a lot of effort. I'm tall. It was just one or two bumps and lean back. I knew nobody can get to the shot. So that's really how I started shooting it a little bit at the beginning. Of course, I had the support from the coaches because not a lot of guys wanted to shoot a one-leg fadeaway, but they saw it go in a little bit, and I was practicing it a little bit, and so I started shooting it. And mostly that year we actually had the championship run, and things were going really well there, and I made most of them. So I was like, okay, this is a good weapon for me going forward. Guys was really starting to crowd me because I lost a step or two, and then this was just a way for me to still stay efficient and still be a decent scorer even in old age.
He said decent. Cut it out, Dirk.
Right.
As Dirk refined his skills, he began to stand out, not just in Germany, but on the international stage. His performance at the 1998 Nike Hoop Summit, where he outshined America's top high school prospects, was a turning point. Dirk scored 33 points and grabbed 14 rebounds. And suddenly, the NBA was calling.
With the 9th pick in the 1998 NBA Draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Dirk Nowitzki from Würzburg, Germany.
In 1998, Dirk was selected by the Milwaukee Bucks with the 9th overall pick in the NBA Draft, only to be traded immediately to the Dallas Mavericks.
Number 41. All right.
The NBA was the ultimate challenge, a league filled with the most athletic and skilled players in the world. But for Dirk, this was just the beginning of his real journey. When Dirk arrived in the NBA, he quickly realized that the game was faster and more physical than anything he had ever experienced. The American style of basketball was rougher, more demanding, and it took a toll on Dirk in his early years. But while some might have been discouraged by the challenges, Dirk saw them as opportunities to grow. Dirk's rookie season was filled with ups and downs. He averaged just 8.2 points per game and struggled to adapt to the NBA's physicality. Critics were quick to label him a bust, questioning whether this tall, unathletic European player could ever make an impact in the league.
Dirk, did you have former players and all that were criticizing you early in your career that gave you extra motivation?
Well, it was hard for me my first year. Back in the days, there were not that many Europeans around. And, every time I was guarding somebody in front of the opposing bench, they were, go at him, he's soft. I heard all that.
But Dirk refused to let these doubts define him. Determined to prove himself, Dirk committed to improving every aspect of his game. He spent countless hours in the gym, working on his shooting, his footwork, and his strength. He studied the game, learning how to use his size and skills to his advantage. Over the next few seasons, Dirk transformed from a struggling rookie into one of the NBA's rising stars. By his third season, Dirk was averaging over 21 points per game and had become a key player for the Mavericks. His unique blend of size, shooting ability, and basketball IQ made him a matchup nightmare for opponents. While he still wasn't the fastest or the most athletic player on the court, Dirk had found his niche, using his skills and intelligence to outplay even the most physically gifted players. But even as Dirk began to find success, his journey was far from smooth. The physical demands of the NBA continued to challenge him, and the Mavericks were still a team searching for their identity. Despite Dirk's growing stardom, the Mavericks struggled to get over the hump in the playoffs, often falling short against more established teams. In 2006, Dirk led the Mavericks to the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history. It was a moment of triumph, but also one of heartbreak. The Mavericks took a 2-0 lead in the series against the Miami Heat, only to lose the next 4 games and watch their championship dream slip away.
Well, it was, there were a couple low points in my career. That was definitely one of them. We left here 2-0, feeling good. The Dallas Morning News, the newspaper here, had the parade route already in the paper.
Wow.
So, speaking of a jinx,
that's always bad. Man, you can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't do that. But we were kind of going down there. Things are going well. We think we're going to win this, and then we're still playing well in Game 3, and we were still up with like a couple minutes to go. We were still up, and then we ended up losing that game, and then things kind of just fell apart.
Critics again questioned whether Dirk had what it took to lead a team to a title. But for Dirk, the loss wasn't the end. It was a new beginning. He used the defeat as fuel, working even harder to ensure that when the next opportunity came, he would be ready. And that opportunity would come in the most unexpected way. As the years passed, Dirk continued to elevate his game. He became a perennial all-star, a league MVP, and the face of the Mavericks franchise. But despite his individual success, the ultimate goal, a championship, remained elusive. The Mavericks were often overlooked, dismissed as a team that couldn't win when it mattered most. But Dirk never lost faith. He knew that his time would come. In 2011, Dirk and the Mavericks entered the playoffs with something to prove. They weren't the favorites. In fact, many analysts picked them to lose in the first round. But Dirk had other plans. He led the Mavericks on an incredible run, defeating the Portland Trail Blazers, sweeping the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers, and outlasting the young and talented Oklahoma City Thunder. Dirk was playing the best basketball of his life, and the Mavericks were peaking at just the right time. The 2011 NBA Finals were a rematch with the Miami Heat, but this time, the stakes were even higher. The Heat had formed a super team with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, three of the league's most athletic and skilled players.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
But Dirk wasn't intimidated. He was determined to write a different ending to this chapter. In Game 2, Dirk hit a game-winning layup with his injured left hand, silencing the Miami crowd. In Game 4, battling a high fever, Dirk willed his team to victory. And in Game 6, Dirk delivered the final blow, leading the Mavericks to a 105-95 win and securing the first NBA championship in franchise history. Dirk was named Finals MVP, and his place among the game's greats was solidified.
It wasn't easy. He bent a finger so badly in Game 2 that he had to shoot left-handed. In Game 4, he played through a 101-degree fever, but every time he came through when it counted. And I think it's fair to say that we have very rarely seen a better playoff run than Dirk Nowitzki had last year. It was remarkable.
Dirk Nowitzki's 2011 championship run wasn't just a personal triumph. It was a victory for every player who had ever been told they weren't athletic enough, strong enough, or fast enough to succeed. Dirk's success was a reminder that basketball is a game of skill, heart, and intelligence. His one-legged fadeaway, once dismissed as an awkward move, became one of the most feared shots in the game. His leadership, once questioned, became the foundation of a championship team. Today, Dirk is celebrated not just as a basketball player, but as an icon. His influence extends far beyond the court, from inspiring a new generation of international players to becoming a beloved figure in the city of Dallas and around the world. Dirk showed us that you don't need to be the most athletic player to be the best. You just need to have the most heart. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more basketball stories like this one.